What's up, guys? Texas Vapor Squatch here, and I have a brand new review of a certain RTA, freaky RTA. I'ma tell you what. So, let's dive into it. Today, I have for you the TERRA RTA. This thing is monstrous. It is an octacoil, and all the coils are visible. Now, I've been using this one for a while, so that's why the cotton's a little dark. But it is a flavor junkie and a cloud producer. This tank will go up to 300 watts. And when I say tank, guys, this is an RTA. It's not a tank. The coils are exposed, and it is wicked through the coils, so it is an RTA. But it does hold 5 milliliters of juice, and it goes up to 300 watts. So for a tank to do that, that's ridiculous. The only other one that I know of is the Cloud Beast King, which is the TFE12 that Smok produces. But I'm telling you, you don't get the vapor that you do on this RTA. It is monstrous. This is just, for something like this to go up to 300 watts and still produce the vapor that it does, it's unbelievable. I mean, this is a game changer, and it's got so much airflow. I mean, it's just, that tip is monstrous. Yeah, so as I said, it is huge. I'm running it on a Smok G320 because this is the only mod available to me right now that I can use for it that goes up to 300 watts. I'm telling you, it's crazy. But some of the downsides that I have with it are, of course, that this little piece right here, you can see it's a different color than the glass from up here. This little piece is actually a plastic piece to give air to the coils. Now, the only thing I have with this is that it will sit there and fill up with nicotine around the bottom of this right here where it's dripping from the bottom of these cotton. Because those little squares right there are the ends of the cotton, and right there's the top of them. So it is actually wicked like an RDA coil, but of course in a tank. That's why it's an RTA. Now, everybody out there is going, well, why an RDTA? Well, an RDTA, you build up here, and the juice is a volume down here. An RTA is to wick from the top to the bottom. An RDTA is to wick from the bottom to the top. So that is the main difference in an RDA and an RTTA and an RTA. But again, this product is insane. The vapor production for a tank that can go up to 300 watts is just, it's insane. It's immeasurable. I mean, I haven't seen another tank on the market like this yet. And it's got way more pros than it does con. I can already tell you that right now. It's going to be a great hit on the market. Now, the juice fill. The juice fill, you push down, turn, and it pops out. It is actually not a screw. It's actually just a twist lock, which is nice. You got these big old fills right there. But again, it does have a few cons, but the pros more than outweigh the cons by any means. The only problem is having a mod that goes over 300. But this thing, Valour Vapor was nice enough to supply me with. It is $60 in my MSRP for most places, and it's unbelievable. I looked at this tank first and said, oh, that's cool, it has octacoils, but it's not going to be that much of a flavor producer. I was wrong. I mean, it's crazy. And these coils are like springs. They're not actually like normal coils. And the kit actually is a really good setup. I have RTA comes in, and as you can see, that is a pretty sizable box, but it's also not too big. Now, when you come and you get it, you will come with these things. Cotton, of course, to rewick, and they give you this extra acrylic, as well as they give you some extra coils and seals and whatnot. Now, my thing is, if you look at those coils really closely, they are just springs. They're really not buildable coils. And so what you do is you just undo the screws on each one of these platforms and pop these springs in and screw them back down. That's all there is to it. You don't have to build coils, you don't have to anything, you just get some new springs. Now, these are pre-made coils, so you are going to have to go out and get pre-made coils, of course. That's one of the drawbacks. But in my opinion, these things are amazing. I've had this one for about a week and a half now, a week, and I have gone through 100 milliliter bottle of juice like clockwork. Now, is that a bad thing? Yeah, for budget buyers it is. Is that a good thing? For your cloud junkies, it is. If you want something that's going to just poof, and then you sit there and fill up a room with smoke or vapor, it is the dream. This tank is redonkulous on all accounts. I mean, it is so, it's just, I can't describe it. It's one of a kind. There is no other company that has manufactured this tank yet. And that's saying something. To have something, that a product that nobody else has, and sit there and market it for, you know, a reasonable price, is just amazing. And this company has got it right. Now, the vapor shop that I got it from is Valour Vapor in Temple. Great shop, great people, great service, great products. I mean, I never thought I would come across a vape shop like that, and I did. And Don says, hey, you know, why don't you get a TERRA and review it? And here we are. Now, I am using one of their new juices. That is the Cream Field. Oh, I did a review on it. One of my previous videos. I urge you guys to check it out. It is a great juice. If you like the desserts, you like the sugary, you like the sweet, you like the cookie, it's great. But back to this tank. Now, the way you have to prime it is you have to actually screw it apart, and it'll come apart right there at that line. And what you do is you run juice all the way across these coils, the top of the coils, which would be the top of the cotton, and then you have to actually run juice across each one of these coils on here and down here on these squares. So it is a bit of a hassle to get started, but once you got it started, no worries. But as I said, you only got a couple of cons, and the pros more than outweigh the cons. The flavor, the juice, the cloud, all the combination is just on point. I can firmly say for me that this is the best juice that I've ever done. But like I said, this TERRA tank RTA is redonkulous. I mean, I'm running it at 180 watts, and these coils read 0.2 ohms. Right now they're reading 0.21, or 0.35, 0.235. So it's close enough. So, great cloud production, great flavor production. This thing, oh, every bit of your juice you will taste. Whether you're using fruity, whether you use coffee, whether you use dessert, whether you use bread, whatever. It doesn't matter. You will find whatever is in your juice with this RTA. Now, one of the only bad parts, again, is the nicotine dripping down here into this little plastic piece. And the coils. The coils, when you replace them, you have to buy pre-made coils. You can't just build your own coils for it. And what's the point of an RTA? But at the same time, it's like, God, this RTA is retarded. It is redonkulous. And me personally, I don't see what the point of a 300 watt tank is. RTA, either way. Just because not many people have a lot of mods that go over 220, 230 with the Sigelis and the aliens for the smoke. And I'm having to use this 320 just to fire it at 300. And that's crazy. Now I'm going to move it up to about 250. Now, what everyone's been waiting for. That is 300 watts. Whew. This vapor, this vapor is crazy. Now, one of my things is after you hit it on a higher wattage, it hisses. It does have the hiss, which to me it's kind of a little bit of annoying, but I mean, again, this is 300 watts we're talking about. It's not something that's, 80 watts, 120 watts. No, this is 300. This is a whole nother ball game. When you get to 300, the vapor is so hot, so intense, so much flavor. It's crazy, and it's hard to keep down, honestly. But at the same time, the coils will hardly never go out just because the max is 300. So if you vape it on, like me, I vape it on 150. And if you vape it on 150, your coils are going to last forever. Now, your cotton may not last as long as you want it to, but it will last a while. I've been vaping on this straight for a week and a half, and the coil and the cotton still have great flavor. They still have that great production. There's still everything perfect with this tank. And I mean, like I said, the only problems with it I have are, as you can see right there, you got that nicotine drop at the bottom. And of course, these little slits right here, like that one right there. You've got the next one right there. Those will leak that nicotine out wherever you lay it down. So it always has to be standing. That's another con, but at the same time, again, you're vaping 300 watts out of a tank, RTA. And so it's unbelievable. I mean, if you tried to take an RDA and take it to 300 right off the bat, you would just blow your lungs out, and I mean, you would have major cotton burn. So for it to be able to do that, phenomenal work, guys. But again, I got this from Valour Vapor in Temple. Great prices, great people, great service, and of all, great products. So this is the Texas Vapor Squad signing off. It's been good with you guys today, so keep vaping.